Hey guys, it's Huntin for Games, and I'm doing something a little bit different this week with a 2016 holiday season gift ideas video to try and help out everyone no matter what you might be looking for, who you might be looking for. I think I'm going to break this out into games, accessories, collectibles, and like more arts and craftsy ideas, and then finally the big stuff with like consoles at the end, maybe a little tech thrown in. It's going to be super long. I've got a ton of stuff to go over, so I think I'll just link each part of the video separately in the description below so you can just skip to whatever you're looking for. And let me know in the comments stuff you're getting for friends and family yourself, and anything you think I missed. I'm basically just putting this together based on, stuff that I'd like to get, stuff that I would get friends, stuff I have gotten in the past, just like my personal experiences. This isn't like a scientific rundown of gifts at all. I'm not going to be laying out any deals that you're going to find because they change like every 2 seconds. But anyways, let's just get into it. So let's get to the easy stuff first. Games. It's pretty hard to go wrong with video games as a gift for a gamer, as long as you're sure they don't already have it. I won't list any specific deals, like I said, because at this time of the year, it's fluctuating like crazy. But be aware that Amazon Prime's 20% discount off all disc copies of games, and Best Buy's got a similar deal if you're a Best Buy Gamers Club member. You can also purchase digital download codes off of like Amazon and a few other sites. So if your gamer appreciates digital copies more, just be aware that you can do that. But deals on digital copies are usually fewer and far between. Potato, potato. So I'm going to break out games into different types of games. Let's start with shooters. Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare are the biggies this holiday season. Hopefully you know your gamer well enough to know which one they'd enjoy the most. All three have been reviewed fairly well. Battlefield is an awesome World War I shooter with massive battlefields and a fun and actually like interesting batch of small single-player campaigns that tell stories from World War I from various perspectives. Titanfall 2 is a fun mech shooter with wall running, jetpacks, and giant robots beating the crap out of each other. This sequel provides a fun single-player campaign that the first one was sorely missing, and from what I hear from reviews, it's actually really amazing. I haven't gotten a chance to play this one myself, but I can't wait to pick it up. Along with that is the same hectic multiplayer that's been improved upon from the first one, and I played that one for months, so can't go wrong. In fact, I've heard that the only problem with this game is the fact that it was released alongside Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which are both like huge IPs that everyone's waiting for. Otherwise, it'd probably be a must-buy. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is the latest in a long line of Call of Duty games, and hopefully your gamer giftee to be has voiced their opinions on whether or not they love or hate the space jetpack ridiculousness that the series has sort of become, because people are pretty divided on whether or not they like it or just kind of miss the old Call of Duty. However, the real seller with this one is the $80 version comes bundled with the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, the game that changed the shooter multiplayer landscape forever. To say that the remastered add-on is more hyped than Infinite Warfare is like a huge understatement, and chances are if your giftee is a fan of the series, they're jumping with excitement at the chance to revisit its roots. Haven't gotten a chance to check out all of these, only Battlefield 1 personally, but from what I've read and heard from friends, all three are great options for their own reasons. So, strategy games. Not saying that there aren't other strategy games worth looking into in this category, but the big one for this season, for me at least, is Civilization 6, the latest in a long-running series about world domination through science, culture, or my favorite, warfare. I put a ridiculous amount of hours into Civilization 5, and I've heard that it wasn't even the best in the series, so I can't wait to check this one out. So how about for racing? If you've got a racing gamer on your hands, chances are they've got some of the big titles from like earlier this year or late last year, like Project Cars or Dirt. It was like Dirt Rallycross, which is both are really cool for their own reasons. But the big release of this holiday season's got to be Forza Horizon 3, which is more of a like arcade kind of style game than a simulation. With a beautifully rendered Australia as a new playground and awesome features like hop in, hop out, co-op campaign, this game is just awesome. With such a large, beautiful landscape to race around in, so many modes, cars to buy, and tweakable settings, it's a ton of fun for any racing fan. And there really isn't that much else, so you only got like one option anyway. So how about for RPGs? There are some great releases in the RPG spectrum too. Final Fantasy 15 is coming out in a couple weeks. Pokemon Sun and Moon are coming out like today. And Skyrim Special Edition just came out, all releasing this holiday season. Final Fantasy 15 has been in the works for like literally a decade, but it looks like it's going to be amazing. It's definitely changing up a lot of playstyle stuff though, and it looks like it's borrowing a lot of the ideas from like Kingdom Hearts, which is another super successful series from Square Enix. If your giftee has ever shown any interest in Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, or recently rented the full-length feature film Kingsglaive, which goes over the like prequel story of Final Fantasy 15, this is a really good pick. If they're still playing Pokemon Go, even though it's like 20 degrees out and they've got to walk like 10,000 kilometers, Sun and Moon are probably on their radar and you should think about getting it for them. Skyrim is definitely a harder choice to make because it's a remake of a 5-year-old game, which was amazing when it came out and still is really awesome. But if you've already played it on PC with mods galore, this re-release doesn't really offer a ton of new stuff. If they never checked it out though, or originally played it on like Xbox 360 or PS3, Skyrim can provide countless hours of enjoyment, and the new remastered version does look awesome. Alright, so third-person action adventure shooter. I really didn't feel like breaking these out any deeper, so third-person games. This is sort of my catch-all category. We've got Gears of War 4 and Watch Dogs 2 is the big ones that I'm looking at this year. Gears of War 4, which I've already bought, played, and it's tons of fun, brings back all the good cover-based shooting that we've enjoyed throughout the series, and delivers on a fun campaign with awesome visuals, shooting, and co-op. I mean, I don't know what else you could expect. Watch Dogs 2 improves upon the original in many ways, taking on a lighter tone, adding new hack abilities. Is that a word? I want to say hack abilities. You can hack more stuff. But seriously, it's receiving really good reviews, unlike the first one, which was kind of received with mixed reviews with a lot of problems that it launched with. And in contrast to Gears of War 4's more linear storyline, Watch Dogs 2 provides like an open world San Francisco playground, similar to kind of like games like Saints Row or Grand Theft Auto. If your gamer spends a lot of time driving around in Los Santos and Grand Theft Auto 5, they might be interested in Watch Dogs 2. They share a lot of gameplay elements. So last but not least, I'm going to throw out some unique games that kind of break this standard mold a little bit. First, we have Last Guardian, which has been in development for like forever. This might have been on a Christmas list back in like 2011 when it was originally supposed to be released. But coming from the same developers that have brought us Eco, which was like a PS2 launch title, and Shadow of the Colossus, also on the PS2 and one of my favorite games of all time. Comes The Last Guardian, which is sort of a puzzle action platformer kind of thing. I don't really know yet. You play as a young boy with his giant bird dog pet. Watch the trailer. It promises to be a really unique experience, and I hope it lives up to the quality of the previous games coming from this developer because they've been awesome. Then we also have South Park Fractured But Whole. It's a new South Park game, developed actually like Matt Parker and Trey Stone are involved heavily in the project. And if you've ever seen a South Park episode, you basically know what to expect. The Stick of Truth, which came out a year or two ago, I forget when, was just fantastic. It was a ton of fun, and it succeeded in kind of like bringing the show to life finally as a video game. It felt like you were playing the show, and it was super funny and really ridiculously out of control. But it was actually just like a fun game too. It looks like the new entry is going to be bigger and better in basically every way, so I can't wait to check it out, so keep it on your radar. I think it comes out in December. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on all the games that I mentioned as gift ideas, and especially anything I missed. Might have totally slipped under my radar, or maybe I just like forgot about certain games. There are a ton of games coming out this holiday season, or just came out, so I'm like struggling to keep up. So maybe your gamer buys all the games that they want on that game's launch day, or just is too tough to pick to for whatever because they got like multiple consoles, they've got really picky taste, they never talk about the stuff that they play, whatever. That's fine because luckily gaming provides plenty of opportunity for like accessories that make gaming more comfortable, sound or look better, or just like more fun to play. This really isn't any kind of like scientific list or anything based on intense reviews. It's just like some stuff that popped into my head when I was thinking about like cool gift ideas that I would have appreciated. Okay, so on the cheaper end, if you've got a PC gamer that spends a ton of time playing with like, a mouse and keyboard setup, check out the glorious gaming wrist pad for your keyboard. I'll link the Amazon link below. I just bought one of these this week, and it's like ridiculously comfortable, and it actually looks really cool as far as like wrist pads go, I guess. I've had a ton in the past, and I've always kind of just thought they were like okay, but this one feels great and doesn't look like a piece of crap on my desk. It comes in a couple different sizes based on, what your needs are, what the size of your keyboard is. Don't worry, they didn't like pay me or anything. I just really like this wrist pad, and I think it's a good gift idea. You can also look into charging docks for various controllers if you've got like a console player paying PS4 or Xbox One. I have one for PS4 and Xbox One, and I love them both, so I'm not going to recommend one over the other. I think they're all pretty much the same. It keeps things a lot more organized and clean, and your controller's like off tables and stuff. I think it's awesome. If your gamer spends a lot more time playing multiplayer, or maybe just uses a headset all the time, it can be one of the best upgrades to your gaming experience that people often won't buy themselves. Maybe they have the free and like utterly terrible earbud thing that PlayStation like sent with the PS4 or the base model Xbox One headset, which actually isn't that bad. But or maybe just have some old headphones or like earbuds from their iPhone that they plug into the PS4 controller, whatever it is. It's just one of those things that people are always like, it's good enough, and you just don't really want to spend money on yourself to upgrade it. But new headphones are always awesome. Not only will the game sound that much better, but their friends will probably really appreciate how much clearer they sound through a better mic. I mean, bad mics are just awful. For a great headset that works on PC and PS4, I love the PS4 Gold headset, which is wireless and has a ton of awesome features that integrate with the PS4 specifically. You can change, volume between chat and party like very easily in game. I don't want to go into all the details, but I've had them forever. I bought another one because I liked it so much. It's just kind of cool. They also just released a higher tier PS4 Platinum headset, I think. It's a lot more expensive, but I hear it's been getting good reviews. I don't really have it personally, so I can't tell you much more than that. For Xbox, I can't really give any advice because I never really had a good Xbox headset. But honestly, for all PC, PS4, whatever, Xbox, there are a million different headset options at all sorts of price ranges across all consoles. Some are wired, some are wireless, some cross-console, some not cross-console. It all depends on what you're looking for. Check out some reviews. I haven't really kept up on the headset scene to know what's like great these days. Another great bet, though, are peripherals in general, like new keyboards, gaming mice, or controller replacements. If they're getting worn down from so much use, they're great upgrades for the overall experience. I don't know if you've ever played with a controller that like is missing a button or the nubs are rubbing off, but it's really frustrating. Plus, this stuff can be pretty pricey, so if it comes down to buying yourself a new game or getting a new keyboard that has like a working tab key because you ripped yours off years ago, they're probably going to go with the game and keep struggling with the tab key issue. Step carefully here, though, because there are pages upon pages of debates on keyboards that mostly come down to personal preference, and mice are kind of the same way. If you don't know exactly what they want, you think they might care, you might want to try and get some hints out of them on what they'd love the best. You could also go bigger with like a new desk or a chair. If they're playing a couple cardboard boxes or on like a commemorative wooden chair from Grandpa, this was totally me when I was a kid. They'd never think to ask, but like a comfy chair to sit on and an actual desk for the computer makes all the difference in the world. Plus, good posture is like super important. Anyways, let me know in the comments specific accessories you're thinking of buying or maybe gifts you gave in the past. The stuff doesn't go out of style quite as quickly as other gift ideas, so they're totally still relevant even like 5 years later. Leave any questions in the comments if you're torn between a couple ideas. I'd be happy to weigh in, as would I'm sure the general Hunt for Games community in general. That sounds weird to say, Hunt for Games community. We'll have to work on that. Hunt. I don't know if that's the best way to say that. Alright, so next up is one of my favorite sections because it has some of the most unique and cool stuff that most gamers just maybe don't know about or would never actually buy themselves. It's just general collectible stuff, more arts and craftsy ideas for things you might not be able to buy in a store. First, let me just say, if you want arts and craftsy results for fun gaming stuff but aren't arts and craftsy, or just don't feel like making stuff, I have one word for you: Etsy. Go to Etsy.com and just search for like games, search for whatever you want. It's awesome. If you don't know what it is, people like basically sell their own stuff that they make and they put them up on like a personal store. But I've gotten tons of cool Final Fantasy stuff from there that like I would never have found anywhere else. I recommend checking it out. But some sweet ideas for decorative purchases. My personal favorite that Katie has gifted me like plenty of times, and a few friends have even jumped on, is the Shadow Box. Shadow Box is essentially a frame that has depth and can hold like objects instead of just like a painting. Some Final Fantasy XI friends of mine gave me the Logitech keyboard controller combo, which is just amazing. Hang on, where is it? I mean, look at this thing. Come on, this is so cool. I just have it like hanging up all the time. I love this controller. Katie's made of me a ton with framed games. Like I've got the one with Pokemon Red and Blue, just like framed with Metal Gear Solid 1 and Final Fantasy 11, just like startup disc, all just like in the same shadow box. Is like my favorite childhood games. She also made me one with my 1,000 subs YouTube award, which is amazing. I've also seen some amazing things that people have done, recreating a sort of like 3D version of old 2D games like Zelda, Mario, or Sonic and stuff. Some of these look really cool. I'm gonna quick grab like a couple pictures to show you during this part. These were all just randomly grabbed from like Google image searches, so my apologies for not providing like the awesome people that made them as a source. I really don't know who did. If anyone knows, feel free to share the original source. They might have even provided like kind of steps for how they did this. It's really cool stuff. Also, kind of back there, you can see I received this 3-framed image of the original N64 patent. Katie got that for me last year. It's really awesome. It's also a little bit less in your face with the like I love video games. If your gamer isn't sure how much they want to like decorate their room with like a giant Master Chief poster or something like that. It's more subtle, but it's a really cool like N64 thing I've got going on behind me. But it just looks like art. Amiibos are also still a great idea, especially if you're like a Nintendo fan. I don't know how many people still use them for their intended gaming purpose, so don't worry about whether or not they're going to work with the Switch if you're interested in that coming up. They're just neat looking. They're cool little, stuff. Another little collectible that's been growing in popularity are the pop figures. Blizzard especially has been releasing a lot of pop figures of their games like Overwatch and World of Warcraft and Diablo and stuff. And they're pretty cool. I've got a few from like Arrow and The Flash. And as always, another good fit in this space is like the collector's edition of games. They sometimes come with cool like collectible things in the box, especially if you're already thinking of getting one of the games from the list before and you want to combine that with like something decorative. That's how I got my cool Venom hand snake that's back there. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I love that thing. You know the drill though. Let me know in the comments your favorite collectibles or arts and like arts and craftsy stuff that you've either bought, planned on buying, have been given, or giving to somebody else. Any ideas? What you think of these? So now we're down to consoles. Finally taking a look at the big stuff. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. If you hopped here, thanks for checking out this video. So we've had a lot of console shakeups this season, with Sony releasing not one, but two new iterations of the PS4 with the Pro and Slim. And Xbox has the Xbox One S that came out earlier this year. Nintendo is set to shake things up early next year with the Nintendo Switch, which is totally screwing up this holiday season's buying guide. That's not until March. So what's all this mean? Let's do a quick rundown. Well, if you're buying an Xbox, the Xbox One S is the clear choice. It's the same price. I don't see any reason to buy the original. There are a ton of deals flying around. You could probably get it on sale. Although if you have a PC gamer, you might want to question whether or not they need it because a lot of those games are coming out on both PC and Xbox One now. So that's a whole other thing, but something to think about. If you're debating between the PS4 Slim, Original, and PS4 Pro, I'd probably go with the PS4 Pro. It introduces better frame rates and better visuals across many games for 1080p and 4K TVs. If you have a 4K TV, it's the clear choice. And that's all only going to continue to get better with games coming out in the future because it seems like developer support is actually great. And it doesn't seem like it's that hard to introduce some improvements into your game. However, the Pro is baseline $400 instead of the $300 Slim or Original, so that may affect your decision more than anything. If you're debating whether or not to get the Pro as a gift for somebody who already has a standard PS4, that's kind of a tougher question. I'm personally upgrading, but mostly because like I love this stuff, and I'm super excited about even minor visual improvements. Your gamer may or may not care or even notice a difference. All right, so how about Nintendo? Well, there's no getting around it. Do not buy a Wii U, no matter how amazing the sale may seem. I'm serious. I can't think of a single reason to recommend a Wii U at this point. The Nintendo Switch is coming out in just a few months. The Wii U games will not work on the Switch. And to be honest, support for the system has been lackluster in general ever since its entire lifespan. They've already halted production on the Wii U before the Switch even came out. I mean, it's dying. It is dying. The 3DS, on the other hand, still has a huge library of games and was incredibly successful over its long, it's been out forever. You can get them fairly cheap now, too, if you catch a sale, but no one's really sure how the Switch is going to affect the 3DS. I mean, the Switch is going to essentially be another kind of mobile platform, but a way better console in general. It's tough to, I don't know what's going to happen. So if you get a good deal, I love my 3DS. I have plenty of great games for it, but I mean, if you're concerned about the overlap with the Switch and whether or not, I don't know. On the fun, cheaper side of all this, Nintendo did just release the Retro NES, which is a great, little gift for anybody who loved the original Nintendo. Chances are, though, you can't find one. They're like flying off the shelves. Honestly, they're also off-brand emulators with more games that you can, get for cheaper, but it's not the official Nintendo brand, and I can appreciate that. So it is also like a cute little thing if you've seen it. It's adorable. It's a great idea for a gift if you can find it anywhere. Good luck. Finally, we'll quick talk about some PC upgrades. I mean, while everyone's situation is different and PC upgrading in general is questionable depending on like what you currently have, can you upgrade it? Do you know how to? Do you feel like doing it? Regardless, it depends on a lot of stuff. But if you're going for it, graphics cards are usually your best bet in terms of bang for your buck gaming-wise and what's going to make it a better experience. Well, I'll throw out my recommendation here. Even with how much I pay attention to changes in the industry, new releases, and just general tech stuff in terms of PC gaming, whenever I'm going to make decisions, I do check out this site, Tom's Hardware, and their best graphics card for the money list. They update it like every month based on changing prices and different releases. It's really awesome. I'll link directly to the pages below, but ultimately, it usually comes down to what your budget is and what you're looking for. Personally, though, if you're not too worried about money, the GTX 1070 is an amazing graphics card and will continue to be for a long time. But it is pretty expensive. It's like $470. If you're hoping to pay something more along the lines of like what a current console costs, the GTX 1060 is my next favorite. It's around $300. It's an awesome value, highly recommended. And the AMD RX 480 is a little cheaper than that if you want to save even more money. Below that, I don't really have any good ideas, but there are plenty of options. Also, feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I can maybe look up some suggestions. Anyways, man, geez, that was super long. I really hope it was helpful. Like I said before, leave in the comments your favorite gift ideas, whether or not I listed them, and like the video if you're going to use one of these gift ideas in your gifting, or if you're still watching, or if you've ever bought somebody a gift. But seriously, definitely subscribe if you're new. I've got plenty of videos coming each week, and I really hope to see you guys back. So thanks for watching, and happy holidays. We're getting into the good stuff.